The New York Jets getting a second whack of the Trevor Lawrence pinata? Let's talk about it.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
I made it clear that my intention was to play, and my intention was to play for the New York Jets.
What is going on, everybody? Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Ebby.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. Happy Sunday. No Jets business today in terms of any games. Enjoy the football Sunday deplugged. I hope you guys can out there, and we'll continue to provide content as the Jets, of course, are in the middle of their bye week. They come back next week, a week from today, against the Seattle Seahawks, Geno Smith revenge game and all that jazz. But let's get right down to business here. And by the way, as we're starting the show, let's flip the banner. We are 67 members away from our number one Austrian Jets fan from getting his emoji. So again, spread the love. That is the pinned comment right now on youtube.com/boygreen25 to join the Boy Green Coffee Club. Only $2.99 a month to help support the show. Trevor Lawrence to the New York Jets. What in God's green earth? Oh, yeah, baby. We have a full article in the YouTube description down below on this. Now, this is not the first time I've heard of this. This is the second time I've heard of this week. So earlier this week, Connor Hughes of SNY is talking about the possible quarterback options for the Jets. He's going through all the names we've heard. Okay, Sam Darnold, free agent. Okay, that makes sense. Russell Wilson. All right, I guess. Some draft options. Okay, that makes sense. And then out of nowhere, he just says a Trevor Lawrence trade. And I'm like, Trevor Lawrence trade? Where the hell did that come from? Didn't he just sign a deal 6 months ago to be at the time, tied for the highest paid player in NFL history? Didn't that just happen? Why the hell? Whoa. First off, why would the Jaguars be interested in trading Trevor Lawrence if they just gave him the bag? Checks note 6 months ago. That math doesn't matter. That doesn't make any sense. Number two, the Jets should ask themselves that very question. If Trevor Lawrence was available via trade, why would the Jaguars want to get rid of him? Number one. Number two, what the hell would that cost to get him in the building? We'll consider that in a second. We got a new member to the Boy Green Coffee Club, baby. Shout out to MFC, mother_effing_chew. Choo-choo, motherfucker. Rock Benz 205 are now a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club, baby. Welcome to the party. We're now 66 members away from our number one Austrian Jet fan from getting his emoji. So keep that train rolling, baby. Appreciate you, MFC. So I love that. That's exactly what Ricky New York Live said. I don't want any part of that $275 million contract. Absolutely not. Now, is it better? Is it better than what the Jets have? Maybe. Okay. Possibly. But that shouldn't be the bar, man. That shouldn't be the bar of like finding something that's better than what we have, because what we have stinks. Our quarterback situation sucks right now. Okay. We're down here. We shouldn't try anything in our power to just get anything that would be better. We need to sift through the options and make sure we're making the right move. That we're making the right move here. For old this. And Trevor Lawrence, to be honest, if we're being honest, and by the way, the other person I mentioned, Connor Hughes, talked about it, but also yesterday morning, NFL insider Diana Rossini of the Athletic said the Jets, quote unquote, could explore a trade for Trevor Lawrence this upcoming offseason, which, like I said, is absolutely bonkers. That would be crazy. And of course, as all Jet fans know, this would be the Jets' second whack of the pinata in the 2020 season. Folks, remember this. The Jets started the season 0-13. All seemed lost. But what motivated us Jet fans was, well, if we keep losing, the prize at the end of the rainbow is Trevor Lawrence. The Jets were 0-13. Trevor Lawrence was the projected number one overall pick, the former Clemson product. He was compared to Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning as this can't-miss generational prospect. Jet fans, 0-13 is a swift kick in the loins. But could have Trevor Lawrence. And then the Jets inexplicably win 2 games with Adam Gase back to back against the Rams and Browns. And poof, that dream expired. It evaporated. It disintegrated and disappeared into the ethos. And we ended up with Zach Wilson. And we all know how that went. He's one of the worst busts in NFL draft history. But to be fair, 5 quarterbacks were selected in the 2020 NFL draft's first round. 4 of the 5 were on new teams. They've been traded elsewhere. The only one who remains is Trevor Lawrence. And you know what? I think Trevor Lawrence benefits that, we've seen a couple of these other drafts, right? Where Patrick Mahomes gets taken like 3rd or 4th in the quarterback rotation. And the people that get, were picked earlier, kind of like an intense spotlight is put on those guys. There's no spotlight on Trevor Lawrence because everyone else in the draft sucked. So Trevor Lawrence has kind of escaped some of the wrath, and of course he's in Jacksonville too, but he's escaped some of the wrath of not living up to the billing as this generational prospect. Because, to be blunt, he absolutely has not. Trevor Lawrence has not been the second coming. He's been an okay quarterback. I mean, obviously he got the contract to be the highest paid of all time. He's 25. He's immensely talented. Here are his career numbers to this point. He had been injured. He's completed 63.4% of his passes. Okay. He's thrown for 13,774 passing yards. Okay. And he's in the middle of his 4th season. And he has a 69 touchdown to 45 interception ratio. That's not great. 45 picks. That's disgusting. But again, that's better than what the Jets have, but it's not great. I mean, not at all. Of course, he has all the measurables. He's 6'6", 220 pounds. He's got the golden locks from the gods, and he's got the look, and he's pretty boy. He's sunshine from Remember the Titans. So he checks off all of that kind of hoopla. He's checked off that kind of hoopla for sure. But, he hasn't lived up to the billing as this can't-miss generational prospect. I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of the contract. And by the way, what would the compensation be? The Jaguars aren't giving him away for free. First round plus? Like, oh boy, I don't know about any of that. Danny in real life says he's got more playoffs wins than the Jets do. Well, let's take a good old gander at Jaguars playoff history. I'd like to pull that up as you mentioned that with he's got more playoff wins. Oh, huh. Does old Trevor Lawrence? Let's take a peek ski. Okay, so 2022, they had the unbelievable collapse. So I guess, yeah, he has 1 playoff win, and that was perhaps one of the greatest playoff collapses we've ever seen. Sure. Trevor Lawrence has 1 playoff win. Okay. That's fine. He's got more playoff win than the Jets do. Playoff win, singular. Win. But sure. Again, the bar's not very high. That's also why I say the Jets themselves should not say, wow, Trevor Lawrence is better than what we have. That shouldn't be the bar. The bar should be, let's get the best possible quarterback we can get. Not someone who's just better than us, because that would be a very long list, I would imagine. I'd venture to say that the list would be long. I don't know. My gut says absolutely not. Because the contract is disgusting. The living up to the billing isn't quite there, plus trade compensation. Heck no. We had our chance at Trevor Lawrence. It didn't work out. And you know what? Sometimes they say the best move you can make is one you don't. And while Trevor Lawrence clearly would have been better than Zach Wilson, but that changes. They used to have this. I don't know if you guys know this. On NFL.com, they used to have this segment with Dave Damashek. It was called the NFL. And if you change one thing in NFL history, what are the ripple effects? This would be a perfect example, right? They'd say, what if the Jets didn't win those random 2 games in the 2020 season and ended up with Trevor Lawrence as the number 1 pick? What's everything else that happens? What happens with Aaron Rodgers? He obviously never gets traded here. And then There we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, apparently they didn't want me talking about the NFL promise child, Trevor Lawrence. The NFL minivans were outside my house shutting down the stream. Nice try, NFL. I don't think so. I will say what I want, baby. But yeah, long story short, I'm not sure if I'm on the Trevor Lawrence train. I mean, we could give it to the people. Let's put a poll up. Let's put a poll up and see what you guys say. Would you want the Jets to trade for Jaguars QB Trevor Lawrence? Let's get that up in poll form, and then we'll get your guys' thoughts. Let's see. I'm putting this up on YouTube. 1 second. I guess yes or no, that works. Okay, booyah. That poll is now up on our YouTube. Would you want the Jets to trade for Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence? Yay or nay? Obviously, we don't really know compensation, so factor that in. We have no idea what that would be, but feel free to vote. We can get back to those poll results. We can get back to those poll results throughout the show. Taylor Sterling, get a friggin' haircut, Trevor Lawrence. Good Lord. He can have whatever fashion statement he wants. I don't know if that's factoring into the suckage, but Microfox says, to the NFL point, what if Zach Wilson gets picked by the 49ers? He would have blossomed under Shanahan. We look like fools. We can't win. Yeah, that's interesting because, right, the 49ers wanted Zach Wilson apparently badly. Eagles wanted Zach Wilson badly. And you know what's funny is the hindsight, right? Like, oh, the Jets, what an idiot. They overdrafted Zach Wilson. That's not true. Now, it didn't work out, but that's not true. The Eagles wanted him. The 49ers wanted him. All these teams wanted Zach Wilson. And the Jets took him, and it is what it is. And then we were convinced there was that there was a bunch of analysts, Chris Sims and a couple others were like, actually, Zach Wilson is the number one quarterback, not Trevor Lawrence. And Jet fans said, oh, it worked out that we won those games. Like, come on, man. We tried, people tried to sell us that. He tried to sell us it. Quasar 22. Trevor Lawrence looks like Frankenstein's monster son when he's in uniform and he takes his helmet off. Like, boy, Trevor Lawrence, all of the pieces, he called, Taylor Sterling said Trevor's the hottest girl in the NFL. Sure. Like, when you look at the pieces on the table and you see 6'6", you're making a dating profile. You're making an NFL quarterback in a lab, 6'6", 220 pounds, the rocket arm. Like, here you go. Here's this. I just had this up earlier because I just was curious to look back at it. Let's go with the NFL Combine profile, okay, for Trevor Lawrence. I was just reading this earlier. So they put together this is a prospect profile, but this before they get drafted, so people can kind of get an understanding of strength, weaknesses, and all this other stuff. And here's what they wrote and said about Trevor Lawrence before the draft. Refined and polished for his age, Lawrence is the ultimate prototype for today's brand of franchise quarterback. He has great size, possesses elite pocket passing quality, paired with dual threat athleticism that makes him an unpredictable weapon on every down if play callers are willing to expand their playbooks for him. While he's fairly polished with his approach from the pocket, he has better improvisational talent than many of the quarterbacks who have come up through the quarterback camp circuit from a young age. He's got the arm and eyes to make all their throws to create explosive plays from outside the pocket. So he had some of that. Here are some of the strengths. Played rare volume of high leverage plays as a 3-year starter. 86-4 record dating back to high school. So he's a winner. Commanding presence with unmistakable air of confidence. Elite size, athleticism, play traits, dual threat capabilities, which add to his explosiveness. Speed, wiggle, toughness, zone read and called runs. Knows how to protect himself. Feet stayed calm. Subtle pocket slides. Internal clock. High level escapability. Pinpoint accuracy. Blah, 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 is the Trevor Lawrence experience. All those wonderful things people say, all the numbers and all the other stuff say he should be great. But he hasn't been. He's been a fine quarterback. Fine. Okay. Average, if you'd like. But that's not what the Jaguars got when... That's not what the Jaguars were hoping for when they invested the number one overall pick into him. I've been on this take for a while that Trevor Lawrence is overrated, and I've gotten things thrown at me before of people saying, watch the tape, Paul, you're an idiot. Like, you're not doing proper analysis here. Like Trevor Lawrence shows way too many picks for my liking. He just doesn't see the field, and like you just see him miss throws. You're like, whoa, like Trevor, like you're a God's gift to us. How did you possibly miss that throw? And I understand he's human, and some throws he's just gonna miss. But like, come on, man, what are we talking about here? Micro Fox says, I wouldn't be opposed to get Daniel Jones as backup to Tyrod. Interesting. I think for Daniel Jones, and it's been reported this morning, he wants to go to a playoff team, and I don't blame him. So why stay in the funk of New York where you have been and it's been terrible? So teams like the 49ers, Ravens, and I think the Raiders were mentioned. They're not a playoff team, obviously, but that might just be to get on the field quicker. But if I'm Daniel Jones, I'm probably going to although the 49ers are 5-5, so maybe not there. Although the Brock Purdy injury, he's not playing today. So if you could get on the field with Kyle Shanahan, I could understand that. I'd probably go to like Baltimore or something, try to win a ring and just get millions of dollars. Like that worked for me, Taylor Sterling says Trevor Lawrence benefited from a historic Clemson defense and elite wide receiver talent. As soon as he had been asked to be great, he folds. Yeah, that could be. Jared B. I bet Daniel Jones wants to go to playoff team because he's never getting a team there. That's funny. Peter says we need a coach and a GM first, which is true. No matter what quarterback conversation, we do need that combination first. William says Jones on the Steelers. Well, they got Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, so I imagine not. I imagine he's not going to Pittsburgh. MFC would take him as long as we have a coaching staff that can benefit him and unlock his potential. Everyone wants to save a player, and Trevor Lawrence is a unique example because it's not like trying to think of like someone terrible, Zach Wilson, right? Like everyone's like, you know what? Sean Payton's like, I can save Zach Wilson. We'll see if that's true. It doesn't look like we're ever going to see that. But, like he says, I can fix Zach Wilson. Like Trevor Lawrence has been paid and he's had some success. So he's not like a complete reclamation project. He's terrible, but he just hasn't lived up to it. All right, let's see the current poll results right now. Keep them coming in. Again, would you want the Jets to trade for Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence? The overwhelming percentage at this point is 74% say no. 74% say no. Again, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, you have to hop on over to YouTube. By the way, to the 500 plus people in the room, like the video, hit subscribe. Peter Castro, Trevor way too expensive, both contractually and I'd imagine compensation. They probably want a first round plus for Trevor Lawrence, and I don't know if I want to do all that. Thanks. I'd rather create my own quarterback situation. And like Trevor isn't this perfect solution. So why would you give first and then pay that ridiculous record-breaking money where you put yourself in cap hell for like ever? That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. All right, let's do this. Let's open up the phone lines too, and we can hear some more of your guys' takes on this. Why don't we do this? We'll play a quick hip Super Bowl song, and folks, hang on tight. You can call in to today's program. Hang on tight.
Like me daily, like me daily, like me daily. Talking just football, man. Like me daily, like me daily, like me daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets. Boy Green daily, boy Green daily, boy Green daily. You're talking Jets football, man. Boy Green daily, boy Green daily, boy Green daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Wow. Offense, defense, special teams. Watch the Super Bowl season with Boy Green. J-E-T-S. Jets.
There he is, Hep baby. He's a legend. Also, we've just updated our Phil emoji. Shout out to Snowball. He made a update to the Phil emoji that you guys can now use. So feel free to take advantage of that. I just updated it on YouTube. There you go. Boom. Here's a new Phil emoji, which looks even better, baby. Getting rid of the white background. So shout out to Snowball, who again is responsible for all of our emoji customization, including our number one Austrian Jets fan, who is next on the list to be honored and appreciated and loved and cared for. And again, we're 66 members away from that. Let's get to the phone lines. We got our handsome man, Hep, here on the show. What's up, Hep?
Hey, Paul, fellas. Yeah, I don't know about Trevor Lawrence. He's just too expensive. If they ate some of his contract, maybe, and with someone we didn't expect too much of him, like just more like if we could have had Trevor Lawrence instead of Sanchez, then now I think we could have done something in the playoffs.
Sure, right, yeah.
But other than that, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've been looking at some more tape. I got to Cam Ward.
Ooh, okay,
Yeah. He looks pretty good. He's a big boy.
I'm kind of excited by him.
Yeah, he can run. I'd rather lose out and go get him, to tell you the truth.
Okay, the Miami kid. Okay, which I'm about to see here in town. We're playing. We got Syracuse, Miami. That's coming up here at the Dome next week. So I'll get to see him in person. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing really left of value this season. That and start clearing the books of the dead weight, and then
Right.
scouting for new talent, and that's what we got to do, right?
Yeah. You know what? I like it, Hep. Cam Ward. Okay, I'll circle that one. I appreciate it. Keep watching it. Keep grinding that tape, Hep. Keep grinding that tape. We need to find out who's the next quarterback of the gosh darn New York Jets. Yeah, so Cam Ward of Miami, he's looked really exciting this year. There doesn't appear to be, according to the draft experts, a clear QB1. Some people are Shadur Sanders people. That's Deion's kid. Some people are Cam Ward people. Some people are Jalen Milroe people. So there's a lot of names, but not a lot of, like Trevor Lawrence, number one, unquestioned. He's the guy, Trevor Lawrence. There doesn't appear to be that guy. Now, that doesn't mean Jack Diddley. Because think about that 2020 class. There was 2021, technically, that 2021 season. 5 quarterbacks went in the first round. 4 of the 5 were on new teams. They were traded elsewhere, and then Trevor Lawrence is still there. And that class was supposed to be historic. Move over 1983. That's what people said. And not great. Joe said Jets just need to lose out for once and not have, 2020, where you randomly win 2 games at the end of the season. It's hard to tank. A lot of people don't just like rooting for losses. But if losses, I'm a rationalization guy. If losses happen, I'm like, well, our draft pick improved. Like I'm a glass half full, so I could see the positive no matter what happens. So we'll see what happens. Let's go back to the phone lines. We got the legend himself, Ricky New York, live here on the program. What's up, Ricky?
Hey, what's happening, Paul? No to Trevor Lawrence for a number of reasons. The scouting profile you read on him, everything in there was 100% true. Now, his mobility and ability to improvise was exaggerated a bit. He's no Lamar Jackson, So, but everything else you read in there was true. That's exactly the player he was in college, not in the pros. And that's the thing. Just because a guy does something in college doesn't mean he'll do that at the next level. And that's what we're seeing with him. I mean, dude, they're a 1-win team. They're actually worse than we are. The Jets can't seem to develop their own quarterback. And now we're going to take on other people's reclamation project. Like, no, that doesn't make sense either. I don't think we can afford to spend the draft capital to do that. There's just a number of reasons that I would say no to that.
Agreed.
And Cam Ward, yes, he's had a good year for Miami. He looks exciting and everything. But look at the big picture there. Barely over 60% completion percentage and average release time of 4 seconds or longer. You know that what that translates to in the NFL.
Sack. Well, did we lose Ricky? Or he's just laying on the suspense? I'm not sure. All right, Ricky, let's reset you here. I'll kick you out of the studio, and hopefully it'll let you back in. He's like, do you know what that leads to? And I'm saying, what does it lead to? I don't know, Ricky. That there was a dramatic pause. Dramatic pause there. I thought that was on purpose, and then I just saw you going. And I wasn't so sure. Wasn't so sure. But yeah, I do. Cam Ward's been pretty exciting. But like I said, there's been a lack of consensus at the top of the quarterback board. At the top of the quarterback board. Okay, we'll try to see if we can get Ricky back in a second. But let's go to NY Jets FL. He's next in line here.
Good morning, Paul.
Oh, good morning.
Just outside working here. It's like 42 degrees outside here. By the way, amazing day of college football yesterday. I mean,
oh my goodness.
Talk about
Great.
all the upsets. Florida. Sorry, Ricky. Florida, Oklahoma, and I watched and it brings me to my point. I watched Kansas 2 weeks in a row. That's a very underrated team, and I happen to like the Jalen Daniels. Maybe we'll take a flyer on him. He's a solid player. He seems to have a good feel for the game. I know it's a shot in the dark anyway, Paul. He might be a late round pick anyway. But anybody from that offensive line, Paul, that offensive line, let's say this, Colorado had 28 sacks in the last 4 games, and they basically didn't touch that. They didn't touch that quarterback at all that whole game. They barely touched him. So I would look at the offensive line of Kansas. That seems to be a pretty solid place to pick a lineman from, because they were stout, and a lot of them are 5th-year players, so they're going to be plug and play guys. Let's put it that way.
Can you make me a promise? If we take Jalen Daniels, will he have any relation to Jaden Daniels in the NFL?
I don't know if they're related. Maybe they're cousins. If we're lucky enough, maybe they're cousins.
Yeah.
Let's put it.
Any talent, any connection whatsoever. Yeah, that'd be great. Sign me up for Jalen Daniels, the Kansas quarterback. Yes.
Yeah, I'll look that up.
Please do.
Trevor Lawrence. You want to trade Sauce straight up for him, and they could dump their salary? Then I would do that.
Well, maybe the Jaguars should have taken Sauce in general with the number 1 overall pick instead of Trayvon Walker. So like it would be our own version of. So sorry, we can switch NFL history. That'd be funny.
But who's the guy that's gonna take him and fix him? Like that's the guy you need on your staff. I mean,
right.
What are they gonna do with him? Cliff Kingsbury? I mean, then you're gonna. That's just. I don't know, Paul. There's no subjects to broach right anymore. We're trying to find things to talk about, and the draft may be a little too early. But that's why I started with the college football, because it's been great. And then you got the 12-team playoff. I mean, that's going to be ridiculous.
Ooh, that'll be great. Can't wait.
So yeah. That's all I got, Paul. I'm in Tampa, so our first game is the Bucks and the Giants. I mean, can you imagine watching that game?
Hey, God. Tommy DeVito, baby, my boy, Tommy.
Yeah, the DeVito
Tommy
Bowl.
Cutlets.
And
that's it.
I don't know what we're gonna do about today's. Any good games today?
Oh, that's a good
Seriously?
question. So let's see. Well, let's go.
I think tonight you got the Chargers and the Ravens.
Okay. Yeah, that's the
Ravens.
Harbaugh Bowl on Monday Night Football. That's good. I'm kind of peeking
that's Monday.
Here. Yeah, that's
Okay.
Monday. That's Monday night. Ooh, yikes. 49ers Packers. Who doesn't want to see some Brandon Allen action, right?
Oh, God almighty.
Boy. Eagles Rams should be fun tonight. That's Sunday Night Football. But like, to be honest, I am peeking through it. A lot of the I'm gonna watch
Seattle?
it because Seattle plays Arizona at 4:25. So there's that one late. That'll be kind of fun. But I would watch if the Saskatchewan Roughriders were some NFL team and they were playing the Chicago Bears. I'd be like, okay, let's watch. I'm a football freak, so I'd watch any game. But Sam Darnold and Caleb Williams at 1:00. Maybe that does something for you. Do you want to see some more Anthony Richardson after last week? They host Detroit. I've got some Patriots Dolphins action. Yeah, Tommy Cutlets, Cooper Rush, Jaden Daniels, the less talented brother of Jalen Daniels. He's on there. There's some questions. Yeah.
Thank God for college football, Paul. That was my savior yesterday. And then NHL hockey. That was my savior yesterday. Today's going to be one of those days where you maybe just watching the red zone, and I'm looking for any winter weather games. That would be kind of fun to watch.
Oh, the snow was super fun on
Chicago?
Thursday in that second half. Oh, that was awesome. Brown
Yeah.
Steelers were great. Give me more of that.
Yep.
The aesthetic was terrific.
Yeah. All right, Paul. Well, you have a good day. That's all I got. But I can't. Jalen Daniels. I mean, Kansas they got a solid team there. They I think they won 5 in a row. They were like 1-5 or something. Some ridiculous number
let me
like
see
that.
schedule. I got Kansas in front of me here, so let's see.
Paul, they played Arizona State. They barely lost to a bunch of top 25 teams.
Yeah, they've won 3 in a row, and those 3 in a row are
3 in a row.
beating number 6 BYU, number 16 Colorado, and I skipped over number 17 Iowa State. So wow. Yeah, they've won 4 or 5, and they just barely lost to Kansas State. Or that would have been 4 straight wins of or 5 straight wins, but 4 straight of top 25 teams. Crazy.
And they lost to Arizona State by like 3 earlier in the season. Yeah, they have a
35,
solid team.
31. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
we'll see.
All right, that's it. That's my Alan Abbott. Alan Abbott has the Lions. My team is the Kansas Jayhawks this year. So
I like the adoption. All right, thanks. NY Jets FL joining us here on the show. Okay, let's bring back Ricky. Apparently, StreamYard said, "Hey, can you do an update now?" I guess so. Again, we're left with suspense. Ricky gave us a stat and said, "Do you know what that means?" And I'm like, and then we didn't know. It was very dramatic. So let's get back to suspense. Ricky New York rejoined us live.
It means he would be on his back all day long.
Okay, I got it right.
Yes, you did. Yeah, that was the damnedest thing. Like I was talking, and all of a sudden I looked down, and I've got this pop-up menu thing, and it's new update available, update now. And I was I'm thinking now, right in the middle of my call, really?
Can we renegotiate?
And then after I did after I clicked on the update, it took me to my StreamYard page. Do I want to start it now? And I'm like, what is going on here? But anyways, I'm back.
yeah, you're back, baby.
Wow, what timing, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It could only happen to a Jets fan at this point.
Yeah, that's
at
true.
Any rate, dude, I would not touch any of the quarterbacks in this class personally.
Okay.
I mean, and I heard some people saying, we could take Milrow, have Tyrod as a bridge, and let Jordan and Milrow, battle it out. And I mean that I just can't see us using the draft capital on that right now.
What do you want?
I had a long discussion about this on Friday night, where we talked about it, and would I want Aaron to be back or not? And I mean, honestly, he would have to come back from this bye healthy and play well down the stretch in order for me to want him back. And as far as our new coach and GM go, it would have to be a mutual thing with him and them.
Of course.
We can't bring in a new coach and expect him to run Aaron's system or whatever. So that would have to be a mutual thing. But you know what? I'm telling you, Jordan Travis is better than anybody in this class, and he's definitely better than Bryce Young has been in Carolina. He's not the greatest thing ever, and we've got no one player is going to save this team right now. But I actually started about the draft this week, and there's a corner from Ohio State that I like a whole lot. There's one from Florida State that I like a whole lot. That's 6'2" and very sauce-like in his playing style.
Okay. So he doesn't tackle.
I'm thinking top corner or that's one thing I was looking at is defensive tackles. There's one that I like from Ohio State, Tyleik Williams, best run stopping defensive tackle in the country. Doesn't get a lot of QB pressures, but he's a great run stopper. But dude, he's predicted to go in the 17 to 19 range. I'm thinking we could move back and pick up extra capital if that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I started really thinking, like, man, you know what? With a top 10 pick, picking 7 or whatever, what if we get another true lockdown corner on a rookie deal to put across from Sauce since DJ Reed's going to be leaving? And still maybe be able to move back up into the bottom of the first or early second and get the defensive tackle. Like, there's paths, I think, to do that. But yeah, man, like I just really would not. I definitely no to Lawrence, but I wouldn't even draft a quarterback in this class either.
Yeah, I would just say this. I don't want the Jets to force a square peg in a round hole. Do we need a quarterback? Well, you could make the argument that we do if a quarterback was good enough to be available. But I don't just want to take one to take one. I've brought up a few times in the past. I don't want to Christian Ponder it. The Vikings just went, well, we got to take somebody. Christian Ponder, 12th overall. And then you ignore other clear and obvious talent. If it's not there, punt on quarterback, quote unquote, and then we'll have that conversation in 2026 then and try to see if an Arch Manning or some other person is available to have that quarterback conversation. Let's build up the team. Let's not just draft another quarterback and go through the same problems we've gone through forever. So if the new regime doesn't like one of these guys, I'm fine just not taking one and you can wait. If they love one, then great. That's a different conversation. But I'm totally cool building the rest of the team out.
Yeah, I am too. That's where I would be at this point. Definitely agree.
All right. I love it. Ricky, thank you for the call as always, my man. And by the way, everyone loves the poster.
Oh, right on. Appreciate it. And you know what? There's not early games that blow me away, but thanks to Ted reminding me that it's going on, I'm going to the carnival here in town. I'm just going to get baked and eat some funnel cakes and ride some rides. And the weather's awesome down here.
Beautiful.
Man, I don't care if it is 40-something degrees outside. I'll take this over the heat any day. I'm loving
Me
it.
too.
I love this weather. So
I'm
yeah, I'm going to go out and enjoy the day, and I'll catch the later games. But
all right,
right on. Have a good day, Paul.
There he is, Ricky, baby, calling into the show. I love Ricky, and yeah, that background pops. I love that. Ricky always has a great style, much better than a Trevor Lawrence fella. We prefer those Ricky, locks anyway. Beautiful. Yeah, here's the thing. This quarterback class, perception-wise, is not good. But again, I will trust whoever takes over this regime. We will see who the head coach is. We will see who the GM is. We'll go through that full process. But as it currently stands for me, I'm fine trusting the regime. And quite frankly, trusting them for all these pieces. Ricky even mentioned it earlier because it's an interesting question. Is Aaron Rodgers the guy next year? Is he on the team? And I saw Jake Asman did a show about it. Diana Rossini had the Athletic report about all the other stuff that, the Jets could bench Aaron Rodgers. The Jets could cut Aaron Rodgers. The Jets could place him in IR. There seems to be a lot of optionality there. We'll see what the truth is. If the Jets cut him in the middle of the season, let me say this. Let me take a step back. If you're going to put Aaron on IR, that's a different conversation. Put that in a different bucket. But if you're going to bench Aaron, straight up just bench his ass and say, hey, pal, hit the skids. We're going somewhere else. Then you might as well just cut him, to be honest, to be candid. If you're going to bench him healthy, right? Like if you're going to put him on IR because he's hurt, that's a different conversation. But if you're going to bench him straight up, just say, hey, old ass, park your ass on the bench. We're going to Tyrod or something. Then you might as well just you might as well bench him. By the way, Andrew G is saying Rodgers did not appear on the McAfee show bye week. That is why he didn't. Bye week is what we heard from McAfee. Just a quick note on that of why we didn't see Aaron this week on the Joe Douglas stuff and everything else. He was traveling for his bye week festivities, apparently. Apparently, he's going back to Cal this weekend for his 20th graduation anniversary class with Cal. So apparently that's what was happening. But back to Rodgers real quick. If you're going to bench him, you might as well cut him midseason because, I don't know how the locker room is going to react to the 4-time NFL MVP riding the pine healthy. If he's hurt, again, you can have different conversations about that. But I also want to give that decision to the next regime. Do you want Rodgers back? Yay, nay, this, that, or the other, up, down, left, right. Okay. Do you want to draft a quarterback? Again, new regime, you make those decisions. That's how I feel about it. Williams says play Rodgers for the rest of the year and then go from there. And that's a big thing for me. Ricky said that too. And by the way, that's a report from Ian Rappaport this morning. Aaron Rodgers' future with the team has not been decided. However, apparently, Aaron Rodgers, how he comes out of the bye and plays through these final bunch of games will determine whether or not Aaron is back. So this is Aaron's best chance. This is Aaron's best chance. He's coming off the bye. He's healthier than he's ever been before. Then show it. Show it. Have a good showing against Seattle, and then all these other games down the stretch, and show some chutzpah. Basically, is my long way of short of saying it. If Aaron looks old and is not throwing deep downfield and having a lot of those same issues, then it is what it is. Then Aaron is just, not long for the sport, or something's going on with the Jets or something. I don't know. But how he performs coming off this bye will be a telltale of whether or not Rodgers is going to have a legitimate shot of coming back in 2025. All right, why don't we do this? We'll go back to the phone lines to our main squeeze, our main man, gosh darn Z, baby, here on a Sunday morning. What's up, Easy?
Good morning, Vietnam.
There we are. I appreciate that.
Goodness gracious.
Good morning. Yes. What a day so far.
Holy la chinga. I mean, I just woke up like 15 minutes ago and I realized, oh shit, Paul's on.
I appreciate that. Way to hustle.
I remembered to hit the like button though, first of all. Everybody should always hit that like button.
Amen. That's the freeway, like we talk about, right? There's this emoji banner down there and all this other stuff. Well, I appreciate anyone that reaches into their pockets to spend super chats or memberships, and that means the world. The free way everyone can contribute is by liking the video and hitting subscribe. That helps with the YouTube algorithm and all that jazz. So absolutely.
And if you get a free membership, if you get that free trial 1 month membership, don't be a cornhole. Sign up for yourself.
There you go, baby.
That's how we keep the lights on in Paul Esden Jr. land.
Damn straight, baby. And I got a lot of kids. I'm getting kids every other day. I'm Johnny boy over here. Like we need to pay for all these children.
You should start hanging out with Ryan Delaney. He's got 2 girls now.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, we got to have a family cookout or something.
Oh, yeah. Crazy. I don't know how you guys do it. But then again, we do it all the time by driving to work every day and doing other shit. So
yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, power through.
I mean, I'm going to be 64 on December 7th, and I'm figuring out what am I going to do when I retire? I got to make money. How is YouTube? Is it lucrative?
Lucrative is an interesting word. It's I don't even know, because here's how I look at it. Here's breaking the fourth wall here. I do a lot of jobs. I work at the radio station. I cover the Jets, doing writing and other things of that nature.
Right, you're on heavy.
Right, yeah, I'm on heavy. I don't factor this into, like, my pay. Like, I try to just put it in its own pool. And it helps, of course, because I got all these damn kids running all over the place. But I try not to factor it into my main pool of money because it's so trivial, to your point. Like one week someone could give a lot of super chats, and then another week someone doesn't. So it's really inconsistent. So it'd be very difficult if I was relying on that as my only source of income because of the up and down nature of memberships and this, that, or the other. So I try to put it in its own pool, and whatever happens from it, I'm like, oh, great, or oh, terrible. And I just react to that.
Have you tracked how you're doing when the Jets have a winning season versus a losing season, but you haven't had a winning season yet?
That's true. I've talked to Ryan about that, which is funny because a lot of people bet on the Jets to say, ooh, Aaron Rodgers in, Jet success. To your point, that should shoot all the numbers.
We all thought that.
Yeah.
Who thought? Listen, here's going to be something funny. Okay. Everyone thought Aaron Rodgers was going to lift the Jets up.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jets are so cursed, we actually trashed a Hall of Fame quarterback, which is insane when you think about it.
Crazy.
We trashed a All-Pro Hall of Fame left tackle. Just, how did this happen?
With a wonderful reputation. Yeah, terrible.
How? Listen, this is why I want Rex back. Because Rex is crazy. But he's crazy good. He is going to be entertaining. He is going to And don't think that the half-empty stadiums at the end of the year don't bother Woody Johnson. And it's going to get more empty next year as the season ticket sales drop, and then people are going to have to actually buy it from the box office, and they won't get those discounted tickets from guys that are just saying, here, go see the game, because, they already paid for them.
Mm-hmm.
The place will be empty. It should be empty. Why go watch a shit team? I'm a Met fan. I remember for years Shea Stadium would be empty. And that sends a serious message to ownership. It's the only thing that does is lack of sales in merchandising, lack of food sales at the stadium, and empty seats. It's a very bad look on TV.
Sure it
Very
is.
bad look.
I think Jet fans would have a better chance if they rallied together and like petitioned to do something. But the fact is, there's, I think, too many crazy diehards that'll just go no matter what, and that you'll always have a group of fans that are always there. So despite the people,
then everybody,
that may say,
then pick one game. Pick one game when nobody shows up.
There you go. How
do you think the NFL would react to that?
I don't know.
I'm talking the brass behind the shield. They have to televise a game, even into a local market. How do you think they're going to react if they have an empty stadium looking like a UFL game?
Not great, probably. Yeah.
The advertiser would call up Goodell and say, what's going on over in Jersey? Mm-hmm. What's going on at MetLife? We can't. Who are we advertising to? We're advertising to zilch. What am I paying for?
That'd be
I'm serious. The advertiser gonna say, what am I paying for?
Yeah.
Because the Jets are not putting an entertaining enough product on the field.
Mm-hmm. That's part of the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm behind Rex.
Yeah.
But my thing is, who do we get as a GM? I understand Phil Savage and Rex are close. So
apparently, yeah. That's what people have been telling me.
But the thing is Phil Savage part of the problem, or was Phil Savage trying to help fix it behind the scenes?
That's why I'm kind of cool with starting over from the GM. Like Phil Savage is filling in for now. But to your point, I can't answer that question. I don't know if he was part of the solution or part of the problem or trying to fix it behind the scenes. But he wasn't GM, so he couldn't do anything. So I don't know. And that lack of knowing, I'm like, it's better just to start fresh with someone new, because then I don't have to worry about that question.
And why are there absolutely no reports on how Jordan Travis is doing?
Yeah, zero, zip and pip.
It's just nothing. I mean, because I know you are a proponent of drafting a quarterback, take a shot every year.
Yeah,
we had this discussion.
Yes, yeah.
But that's good in a way. But I wouldn't mind taking a shot at a quarterback, maybe in the third round. Because I just keep. You know what I'm saying? Because now we got some holes to fill. Could you imagine if we kept Darnold and traded that pick, where this team would be right now? I mean, it's hindsight's 20/20, but I didn't want to trade Darnold.
Who would you have taken with the number 2 overall pick? It wouldn't have been number 2. You would have traded it. So like Jamar Chase, Micah Parsons, Penei Sewell. There was a lot of other guys.
I would have taken
quarterback.
I wanted Penei Sewell.
Ooh, okay.
You do not have an offense without an offensive line. Those big fatties, quote unquote, although those are defensive line guys, but those guys up front, they are the core. They're the absolute core. If you don't have anyone to protect your quarterback, you may as well be pissing in the wind, because you'll drop back. You'll have these blue chip receivers, a blue chip running back with no holes to run through and no time to establish their route. And look at Rodgers this year. He's actually got, I hate to say this for Rodgers, he's got happy feet, because the last 2 games he's had protection, and he's holding on those throws. He's not throwing quick. He's not making quick decisions. He's worried about getting his head taken off or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, don't you see that?
Yeah.
That he's got open receivers that he's not hitting?
Yeah, that's a frustrating part. Michael Nania, a Jets X Factor, he shared a couple of clips on Twitter of like showing Rodgers having a clean pocket and guys open downfield, and he hesitates and gets happy feet. And he just pats ball, and then just dumps it off. You're like, whoa, why didn't you? And he just showed clip after clip after clip after clip. It's been happening for a large part of the season, but specifically over this last stretch where he's just captain check down and he refuses to take shots. And people have said it's because he's trying to protect his interception numbers. He doesn't want to throw picks or whatever. I don't know what it is. It just destroys your offense because you limit what you could do. That means all the defense has to do is wrap up and tackle, and then the Jets will eventually shoot themselves in the feet.
I think those early picks spooked him.
Maybe. I don't know. It's super annoying though because that's taking away from our offense. Garrett could make plays. Devonta could make plays.
He's looking like a crippled, Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
At least Zach Wilson could take off and run. Now, Zach's problem was he waited too long to run, and then the pockets closed in around him, and then he lost that ability to escape. But, he can't escape.
No.
Aaron can't escape. And I don't blame him a lot because a lot of that is, he just tore his Achilles last year. He's back 1 year after it. It's still in his head.
That's could also be true. Yeah.
They say with these athletes, after your injuries are healed up, it's the mental part of it that's the hardest thing to get over. Can I, like if they get ACL, do I trust my knee to make that cut, or do I just run into the guy and get tackled? That's. Hey, Aaron Rodgers is great, but even he,
Hey, that's true. Hey, I'm no football athlete, but I blew out my leg, and I was doing the same thing in the Taekwondo dojo. And there were crazy moves I normally did that I was when I was setting up, I was like, "Ooh, can I do that? Will my leg hold up?" I was thinking of all those things subconsciously in my brain.
That old professional decision thing.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult. So let's see what Aaron Rodgers looks like a week from today against Seattle, fresh off a bye, basically 2 weeks off. Does he look fresh? He's running around and taking shots. If not, then I think that tells us all we need to know for the rest of the season.
And one thing for Sauce.
Sure.
Practice with those freaking snow mittens on so you don't get all too handsy. And then take the mittens off and go on the jugs machine for an hour.
Yeah. That would be great.
Or have him run some routes.
Sure.
In practice, just have them switch roles, have the receivers cover and have him run some routes. Just to get a different perspective. This is little creative things you can do in practice to change pace, to change things up, just to get your head out of your head,
Yeah, I'm willing to try it, Easy. I want to try it. And great call. Great call. A lot done back there for the Jets. Now, before we sign off, let me go back to the poll that we have here. 1 second. Let me see. Again, the question was, would you, as a Jets fan, would you want the team to trade for Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence? We have a bunch of votes in here, and 65% say no. And basically, again, if you missed the beginning of the show, to the nearly 800 people in the room, both Connor Hughes and Diana Rossini, two separate NFL insiders for different mediums, SNY and The Athletic, have brought up the possibility of a Trevor Lawrence trade. And I've just been baffled. I'm like, a Trevor Lawrence trade? First off, why would they trade this guy? 6 months ago, they signed him to, at the time, was tied for the biggest NFL contract in history. At the time, it was tied with Joe Burrow. It's since been broken, of course, by Dak Prescott. But I just didn't understand what's going on here. And in the YouTube description down below, we have a full column on this Trevor Lawrence Jets trade possibility. It just doesn't make sense. Why would the Jaguars do it? Why would the Jets want to do it if the Jaguars are doing it? And to be honest, that contract is disgusting. And what would the compensation be? I would imagine at least a first-round pick plus. And I don't love what I've seen from Trevor Lawrence at the NFL level, so I wouldn't be anywhere near any of that. So thanks, but no thanks is kind of where I'm at from that perspective. Everybody, thanks for another fun Boy Green Daily. And the bye week is officially over after today because the Jets will get ready for the Seattle Seahawks, and we'll have you fully covered for all that jazz as you get you ready for the final 6-week stretch. Good luck to your fantasy football teams out there. Enjoy the football, baby. And we'll be back tomorrow morning for another edition of Boy Green Daily. Thanks, everybody, and take care.